Let us see topic 2.8, Dimensions of Physical Quantities. Students, this topic and all the rest of the topic of this lesson are very useful for not only 11th but for 12th standard as well. So pay your very good attention to all of these topics. First of all, we know that all the quantities can be expressed in terms of some combination of 7 fundamental or base quantities. These 7 quantities are called as 7 dimensions of physical world, which are denoted by a symbol and a square bracket around it. Mind well, these 7 quantities are known as 7 dimensions. They are known as 7 dimensions of the physical world, and they are denoted with a symbol and a square bracket around it. If there is a square bracket around a quantity, that means we are dealing with the dimension of that quantity and not with the quantity itself. Now let me show you the symbols that are used for these physical quantities while using them as a dimension. See, for length, it is L written into a square bracket. For mass, capital M is written into a square bracket. For time, capital T is written in a square bracket. For electric current, capital A is written in a square bracket. See, for electric current, I is not written. Capital A, that is for ampere, is written in the square bracket. Up to here, for length, mass and time, we were using the symbols of the first alphabet of the name of this physical quantity. But here for current, we are not using capital I or capital C or something like that. We are using capital A. For thermodynamic temperature also, we are not using capital T. We are using capital K, that is for Kelvin. So capital K into a bracket is used while representing temperature as a dimension. For luminance intensity, CD into bracket is used as a symbol, and for amount of substance, mole in a bracket is used as a symbol of the dimension of this physical quantity. The dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers or exponents of the base quantities which are used to represent that quantity. The dimensions are what? They are the powers, or say the exponents of the base quantities which are used to represent that particular physical quantity. Let us understand this with few examples. First of all, let us see the example of volume. Volume is length into breadth into height. Now, this breadth and height are also one sort of length only. So, in that manner, we can write the dimension of length as L into bracket. Again, for breadth also we can write L into bracket, and for height also you can write L into bracket. That means as a whole we can write L cube into bracket. Now this volume is not depending on mass, so it's obvious that the dimension of mass can be written as 0, and the dimension of time also can be written as 0 because this volume is not depending on time as well. So we can put T raised to 0. L raised to 3 is already there. So finally, the dimension of volume can be represented as m raised to 0, L raised to 3 and T raised to 0. These are the dimensions of volume. Here you may ask one question, that why I am putting m raised to 0 and t raised to 0. When the dimension of mass and time is 0, then why I'm putting at all? And what about the rest 4 physical quantity which I have not mentioned, like temperature, like current and so on? So the answer is, by convention, the dimensions are written in form of m, l and t. If the physical quantity is depending on current, then A will be added. If the physical quantity is depending on temperature, then K will be added, and so on. Otherwise, by convention, all the physical quantities are represented by the dimensions of mass, length and time, that means m, l and t. Now let us see another example, that is force. Now force is mass into acceleration. Here, this acceleration can be written as, you might be knowing the equation, distance upon time square. Distance upon time square. Now let us put the dimensions. The dimension of mass is m1. This distance is one sort of length only. So the dimension of length is L1 and the dimension of time is t raised to minus 2. So as a whole, the dimensions of force are m1, L1, t minus 2. So now we can say that force has one dimension in mass, one dimension in length and minus 2 dimension in time. So this is how the dimensions are written for any physical quantity. Now one important point about representing any physical quantity by its dimensions. See, in dimensions, the magnitudes and the constants whatever are coming in the equation are not to be considered. Let me show you by one example. Let us take example of circumference of a circle. You know that circumference is equal to 2 pi into radius. Now 2 and pi are constants, so they will not be considered in the dimensions. Radius is one sort of length only. That's why the dimension of circumference can be written as just L1. Again, note that this magnitude and the constants are not taken into consideration in this equation. Now topic 2.9, that is dimensional formula and dimensional equations. The expression which shows how and which of the base quantities represent the dimensions of a physical quantity is called as dimensional formula. The expression in which we come to know that how the physical quantity whichever is given is represented by the base quantity, that formula is known as dimensional formula. For example, dimensional formula of volume is m0, L3 and T0. Let me clarify one thing here, that this is basically m raised to 0, L raised to 3, T raised to 0. But by convention, it is used to say like m0, L3, T0 and so on. So here the dimensional formula of volume is m0, L3, T0. Now if we discuss about force, Then for force, the dimensional formula is m1 L1 and T minus 2. m1 L1 T minus 2, that is the dimensional formula for force. Now let us see dimensional equations. An equation obtained by equating a physical quantity with its dimensional formula is called as dimensional equation of that physical quantity. Let us see by one example. For volume, the dimensional equation can be represented as V into square bracket is equal to square bracket m0 L3 T0. The same way, dimensional equation of velocity can be represented by small v into square bracket is equal to square bracket m0 L1 T minus 1. See, velocity is distance upon time. So for distance it is L1 and upon time, so it is T raised to minus 1 is written here. For acceleration, if we say, then for acceleration the dimensional equation is square bracket of small a square bracket m0 L1 T minus 2. For force, the dimensional equation is square bracket capital F square bracket m1 L1 T minus 2. We can discuss some more example as well. Dimensional equation of area can be written as square bracket A, then m0 L2 and T0, because for area it is length into breadth, and breadth is also one sort of length, so it becomes L2, and mass and time has no dimension in area, that's why m0 and T0. Now let us see density. The dimensional equation of density can be written as square bracket of rho, and now density is mass upon volume. So in that case, for mass it will be m1 L0 T0 in the numerator, and for volume it is m0 L3 and T0 in the denominator. So solving this, we will get m1 L minus 3 and T0 in a square bracket. So this becomes the dimensional equation of density. The same way, we can take kinetic energy. The symbol of kinetic energy is capital K, so I am putting K into square bracket. Now, you must be knowing the equation of kinetic energy. It is 1/2 mv square. Let me write here somewhere. Kinetic energy K is 1/2 mv square, where m is mass and v is velocity. So the dimensional equation can be written as m1 L0 T0. This is for mass, and then for velocity it is m0 L1 T raised to minus 1 whole square. Check this again. For mass I am writing m1 L0 T0, and for velocity I am writing m0 L1 T minus 1 raised to 2. Here I have not considered 1/2, because as we have discussed earlier, the constants and the magnitudes are not to be considered in dimensional equations or dimensional formula. So now solving these two brackets, we will get m1 L2. You can see here there is L raised to 1 and there is a power 2, so L2, and T raised to minus 1, but the power is 2, that's why we will write T raised to minus 2. So this becomes the dimensional equation of kinetic energy. Let us see topic 2.10, dimensional analysis and its applications. According to the principle of homogeneity, the magnitudes of physical quantities may be added or subtracted only if they have the same dimensions. This is very true. We can add magnitudes if the dimensions are same. For example, in case of length, I can add 3 meter plus 6 meter because both are meter, both are having same dimension. That's why I can add. I can subtract 5 meter minus 2 meter because again the dimensions are same. I can subtract 5 second minus 1 second because again the dimensions are same. I can add 6 degrees Celsius plus 4 degrees Celsius because the dimensions are same. But we cannot add or subtract if the dimensions are different. That means I cannot add 2 meter plus 3 second. I cannot add 5 second plus 7 degrees Celsius. I cannot subtract even 5 second minus 2 degrees Celsius because the dimensions are different. So we can add or subtract only those magnitudes which are having same dimensions, that means which are of the same physical quantities. Now let's move further. Using the above fact, a method of obtaining the solutions of certain problems in physics with the use of dimensional formula is called as dimensional analysis. This is the definition of dimensional analysis, that by this fact, by the principle of homogeneity, we can find out some solutions of the problems of physics. That is known as dimensional analysis. A thorough understanding of dimensional analysis helps us in deducting certain relations among different physical quantities and checking the derivation, accuracy and dimensional consistency or homogeneity of various mathematical expressions. This shows that how dimensional analysis can be useful for detecting certain relation between different physical quantities or checking the derivation. If any derivation is given, you can check it whether it is true or not, or we can check accuracy, and we can also check dimensional consistency or homogeneity of various mathematical expressions. So these are the uses of dimensional analysis. One thing should be noted here, that when the magnitudes of two or more physical quantities are multiplied, their unit should also be treated in the same manner as any ordinary algebraic symbols. Means in any equation, when two physical quantities are multiplied, their units are also multiplied. Or if two physical quantities are divided, then their units are also divided. And if the units are same in numerator and denominator, then they will be cancelled out also. So the unit should be treated in the same manner. Now you will see that we will be applying dimensional analysis in all of the next coming topics. We'll see them one by one.